content before. I think my algorithm put this in front of me because I like Catfish, and yeah, I we're gonna start this up. So after that that long-winded explanation for no reason, we're gonna watch this. I just didn't want to freeze frame on her face like this. That was crazy.
When I was a teenager, Catfish the
Oh,
TV
okay,
show
hold
was
up.
one of my
Okay, first of all, she British, or yeah, I think she British. So okay, low key strike one, because British people got their own catfish. They got British catfish. I don't know if y'all knew about that. I never really tapped in with British catfish. I think there's also like Spanish catfish too. No cap. They got catfish everywhere. I got you, bro. I got you, bro. I hit you with the follow back. We follow back around here, gang. Follow back, gang, bro. Got you with the follow back, homie. Appreciate the follow, bro. Trying to get the 50 subs. Trying to get the 50 subs. Appreciate that. First time chatter. But yeah. I'm already looking crazy, bro. Hey, they had Catfish UK and Catfish in I think it was like in Spain or something. I know there was like a Latino Catfish show offshoot as well. After looking at that.
favorite shows ever. My
Can y'all
dad
hear the
had
video?
on-demand
Yeah, you can.
television, and I used to spend hours, hours watching back-to-back episodes of Catfish. Catfish
I can relate, bro. That shit is really addictive when you don't got nothing else. If you got nothing else to do, you could really knock down some Catfish, bro. It's really easy to fall into. I don't even want to call it storylines because it's not like these stories be lasting more than like an episode, but it's just so easy to get into like these one-off stories of these people's lives, and it's just like crazy how how fast you can like get caught up in that.
the TV show is hosted by two friends, Neve and Max, who travel
Even Max the goat of all time, neither Max.
all through the US, helping hopeful singles meet their online partners or crushes and basically investigate and get to the bottom of whether they are being catfished or not. But
These guys really were pioneers in the find in like a find a person online, bro. They were the first people that I really feel like were popularizing like reverse image searching, like searching people's phone numbers through their Facebook or like their cash, all that type of shit. They was really about it. Not gonna lie, they was really about it. All the time, every time.
the more the years have gone on, the more and more disillusioned I have become with the show. And
Damn.
I'm beginning to question my previous enjoyment of it. And look, reality TV, it's always murky water, right? There's always some sort of controversy surrounding reality TV.
No, that's a fact because we can't forget. This was on MTV, and like, what else was on MTV? Teen Mom, 16 and Pregnant, fucking Jersey Shore, and every single other repeat spinoff of Jersey Shore that they made with the same characters. Like, let's not act like this wasn't on like a crazy network. But I feel like I can see where she's coming from.
Reality TV isn't exactly famous for being very ethical. I have covered many scandals surrounding
Dang, many scandals. I have not like I said, I'm not familiar with this person's video, so I did not know about any of this. What we got? What we got over here? Biggest Loser. Worst reality show ever watched. Masterclass in Gaslighting. Biggest Loser gets worse. Unnecessary Hell's Kitchen video essay. Okay. Glee. I never watched Glee. Love Island. Uh, Something I want to get into, but like I don't know. Those shows never strike me.
reality TV shows on this very channel. But
Reality TV shows. If y'all ever want me to watch reality TV shows, I will. Swear, dead ass on God. We'll watch them. Just some what y'all want to see, and I'll do it. I'll play it. I'll watch it. Whatever it is, as long as it's in TOS. We ain't breaking TOS, bro. We ain't going to kick where them other niggas be at. Where them weird niggas be at.
Catfish is seemingly a show that has slipped through the cracks. I think that the self help nature of the show has helped it essentially survive the reality TV reckoning. But I am here to share some of my thoughts as to why I think Catfish and people's enjoyment of this show is actually a lot more sinister than appears on the surface. And I just want to make it clear that I know people are going to be in the comments saying, "You're doing too much, Jordan. You're doing too much." First of all, I would like to say that I find analysis and
Too much, sister. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. You ain't doing too much at all. I agree. I'm not gonna lie. I already agree. Like as a person who watched it as a teenager, I was definitely watching Catfish for the wrong reason. I was definitely making fun of people, bro. Be very mean spirited. Cause I was a little dickhead, for real. Like a little, just a little asshole. It's. I think this is going in the correct direction because like it is one of those things where it's like I feel like Catfish was one of those things where like we kind of like really pointed and laughed at people at a time when they were like really low because like when I watch Catfish now it's like it's so different from when I watched Catfish when I was like in high school and like the things I think and the reactions I have to the way people feel and get like wrapped into all this are just completely different. Like I have so much more sympathy now as an adult, just because it's so sad. It's really sad what like what people will put up with, for even the fake sense of companionship. You know, a lot of the times, which is really what this show comes down to. Catfish, like people that are like longing for compassion so much they will put up with like a million and one red flags, send money, break off real life relationships, all to like be with a person that they think is everything they ever wanted because that person's like telling them they are. And that's like really fucked up and sad that like that's where we're at in society. And I think Catfish is like a perfect encapsulation of like that decline, you know? Hey, Bombi 2, what's up? What's up? We need to talk about this Catfish video. If anyone wants to add her, bro, let her know that we watched it. We all positive vibes over here. We fucking with the content. Jordan Teresa, go check her channel. She definitely doesn't need it. Way more popular than me.
taking things apart and
Bombi
breaking them
2,
down and
sub
literally
up. We in
writing
the
essays
chat.
about
We
it
lit.
really, really fascinating. I mean, it's my job. But I think when we think of reality TV exploitation, we often think of the exploitation that is
Jerry
very easy
Springer also very. Also, I skipped it, but Dr. Phil also kind of piece of shit. Jerry Springer. I think he's still alive. I can't remember if he's dead or not. His shit was also funny. I was also watching that for the wrong reason. Definitely for like just the vulgarity and the ratchetness.
to see. We think of Jeremy Kyle, we
Don't know who that
think
is.
of I Want to Marry Harry, but
See,
the
this is
kind of
see this. I told you this. That British shit. I don't know nothing about that British shit. Don't know nothing about them. But that British shit. Them British shows. Don't know nothing about that. Who Wants to Marry Harry? Ain't that nigga like the prince of the country, bro? That's odd. Streams laggy for some reason. Oh damn.
reality TV exploitation
Hold on. I don't know if I can fix that. I don't know if I can fix that. Hold on. Is it on? It have to be on my end. My bit rate isn't terrible. Like a documentation about catfishing. Um, so Catfish started out as a documentary. The main host is a guy named Neve, and so he was catfished, and his brother happened to be documenting the story of them finding out Neve's catfish, and then after that, they put it in like a film festival, and it got really popular, and they made a show about catching catfish, people who catfish, but it did start as a documentary, yes.
that I would really like to explore a little bit more is reality TV exploitation that isn't super clear on the surface, but when you really begin to dive into it and take it apart and analyze it, you actually realize
I
that
have to
these
watch this
shows can
on two
actually
times
be,
speed. I'm not
even
gonna
if they
lie.
are painted as one of the good ones, still cruel. Yes, it rained on my way to work today. Yes, it rained on my way to work today, and my hair looks like that. And speaking of long distance relationships, I would love
Okay.
to thank Train Pal for
Oh,
sponsoring today's video.
yeah. No, no free clout. I'm sorry. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting paid yet. We ain't paying. Not we ain't paying you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go check out the video, you know what I'm saying, you do that. Check out her channel. You watch that sponsorship. Not over here though. Yes, Catfish TV show. Also fire
As I
intro.
mentioned earlier, Catfish the TV show follows our two hosts, Neve and Max, as they travel through the US, helping hopeful singles finally meet up with their online boyfriends, girlfriends, or crushes.
This is the only time I'm gonna be like a little mean. There be some people with some crazy builds on this show. And like that's nobody's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got a crazy build, bro, that's just your I'm saying that's your life type shit. And like no mean shit. But there be people with some crazy builds on this show, like builds you never believe. It really helps you contextualize the variety of humans that are in the world type. You know what I'm saying?
Catfish the TV show was kind of situationships before situationships. Do you know what I mean? Most of you guys probably know
Um
what
I understand what she's saying. I don't agree though. But I understand what she's saying. Like I understand the sentiment of what she's saying. Because some of these people were like, I'm talking like years and years and years. Like that shit's crazy. What's on the poster in the background? Well, which poster? There's multiple. The one closest to the door is Bleach. There's like my head's in the way, but like there's actually like another poster even closer to the door, and that's Black Clover. And then the black poster that's also yeah, the black poster that is JJK. I like anime if you can't tell. And I'm wearing a Flash shirt.
catfishing is, but just in case you don't, catfishing is the phenomenon where you meet someone online and they aren't being 100% truthful about
Okay,
who
so like this footage that she's showing right now is from the original Catfish documentary with Neve, which is unfortunately you have to buy it because capitalism, but it is like really good. Which one is my favorite? Probably the JJK one, but only because a family member got it for me. Like they went to Japan. I mean, they didn't take me with them, fake, but they went to Japan and there was like a JJK pop up, and that's like a poster from a legit pop up in Japan for JJK. So like, that's gotta be my favorite one. The other ones are like stuff I found at like the Five and Below, but like the JJK one is so tough. I have actually more posters behind my monitor too. You can't see those. I can't like turn the camera all the way around.
they say they are. When someone is a catfish, it is often in reference to their physical appearance. Either they are using pictures that aren't of themselves or they're using pictures that are
I kind of explain
outside of
this.
physical appearance. People lie about their financial
They do be lying about,
situations,
hey, they be capping like they got money. These people be broke. That shit be killing me. They be talking like they really got money to a person like across the country, but then be like, nah, I can't catch a flight though.
about their physical health, often feigning
Oh yes,
sickness like
yes, they do be faking sicknesses too. This was like actually going to Japan for 2 years next time. Hey, big ups, dog. You know that's a hell of an opportunity. Cherish it. Like it's really crazy. I really want to go to Japan one day. Um, yeah, it's one of my life goals to go to Japan, and I hear it's like really lit out there. So 2 years, hey, have the time of your life, man. Like really try crazy stuff. It's a different culture. Really dive into that culture and like I actually lived overseas for 3 years. I lived in Europe, and that shit was like eye opening, bro. Like I don't know if you're from America or what country you're from, but like just being in a different culture like that is just rewarding as a human. Period.
cancer, feigning car accidents, lying about their jobs, lying about whether they have children or not.
They also be lying about their jobs too. They be lying so hard about them jobs.
The term catfish and also Catfish the TV show both originated in the same place, which was the Catfish documentary, directed
Yep.
by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman, and the
Okay, so that dude, hold
which
on.
was the Catfish documentary, directed by Henry Joost.
From Ariel, bro. So that's Steve's brother. No way, stop it, Bommy. You're from Germany. Swear. So the European country I lived in Germany for 3 years. That's so crazy. Like that's so crazy. Yeah, man. I lived in Germany for 3 years, and that gave me like a whole perspective about life, learning about like German culture and stuff. Oh, now you're about to go and you're about to go from Germany to Japan. That's so crazy, bro. Full circle.
Produced an Ariel Schulman, and the documentary followed Neve, who is now one of our hosts of Catfish.
Knee foot crazy in the shot is crazy. How was it for me? It was lit. I did my last 2 years of high school, and then I stayed there for a year and just like worked after high school. Um, it was a grand old time. It was great. I mean, granted, I could have like looking back, I could have like done way more like regular people stuff. But like I went to other countries. I went to Paris. I went to Amsterdam a couple times. Like went to others. I went to like cities. I used to stay out. I went to Dusseldorf a couple times. Been to Cologne. You know what I'm saying? You know about that. Uh, if you really out there. Yeah, it was just a great time. I loved it. I wish I could go back. The only reason I ever came back to America is because I didn't learn the language, and it's kind of expensive to live out there when you're an American.
The TV show, and is also one of the directors, Ariel's brother, as he forms an online relationship with a woman called Megan. And it turns out Megan
Megan.
is not who she says she is, and
She was
Megan
not.
is actually Angela. And
It's such. It's not even a reveal because you like know. That's amazing. Also looking forward to traveling around the world. I want to see as much as well. Look, I really recommend if every person in the world should like leave their home country at least once, like explore the world, man. I know it's not feasible, you know what I'm saying? Especially as an American, like a lot of Americans never leave the place where they were born and like grow up. But I think it's super beneficial, man. It's super beneficial. Like I, big ups to you for going on an opportunity going to Japan. Like that's crazy. And you should see the world. I'm trying to see more of the world. Like because you only live once, man. You only get one. You only get one chance in life to like see the world, live life to the fullest. I think the younger generations like seeing that. They don't want to work forever to possibly see the world at the end of their life, and that's a good thing, man. Like we should all, everyone should be able to see the world as early as possible, in my opinion, to get like a better perspective. That's how we build a better world. Not to get on no philosophical shit though. I'm saying chill shit.
the title of the documentary, Catfish, came from an anecdote Angela's husband shares. Supposedly, catfish were used to keep cod active during long shipments from Alaska to China. Essentially, it's a metaphor for keeping people alert and engaged during deception.
I didn't really understand that when he explained it in the documentary, so I'm glad that she kind of like went over that because I was kind of confused with like what the fuck he meant like by a catfish. But I guess that makes sense. So like they don't like freeze and die, like keep them active. That's crazy.
Although the digital age has facilitated more catfishing than ever before, catfishing definitely isn't a new phenomenon, and there are actually multiple historical examples of catfishing. Lest we forget.
Do you know the anime Higurashi no Natori? Yeah, yes. Higurashi no Cry. Is that the English translation? With the chick with the hatchet? Yes, I do know about it. I've been in anime for a long time. Um, that is one of the shows that kind of like it was those were one of the shows where I was like I really couldn't finish it. It was just a little bit too unnerving for me. I'd already watched some other stuff that rocked me, and then that by the time I got to that show, I was just like, I'm done. I can't. I really, to be honest, I've been watching anime since I was like honestly like an elementary schooler. And so there was a time between like elementary and middle school where I watched just nonstop dark anime. I don't want to say it started with it didn't start with Death Note, but Death Note was in there. Shows like Gantz, shows like Elfen Lied. You know what I'm saying? A lot of those dark shows. Higurashi was kind of the tail end of that, and now I really don't even like delve into that kind of stuff because it's just like I don't like even like I don't really tap into Chainsaw Man. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but just me personally, that's just not the type of stuff I'm trying to consume. If you know what I mean. Oh man, it is my favorite anime of all time. It's fair. It only starts getting worth it after season two. Since and that's where I was. Yeah, I only really got. I tried to get through season one, and I was like so confused. And I'll tell you exactly when it really lost me. The fingernail. rip the fingernail ripping machine, that I was done. I was like, I can't. I don't understand what's going on, and that shit like terrified me. The only thing I watch now is like I watch the Uzumaki anime. But that's only because I have the Uzumaki book and I have the Tomei book also. Because Junji Ito is like different. I don't know. You know, maybe one day I can give Higurashi another try. Maybe on stream even. Is it that actually exists called Shirikawa Go? Bro, that is actually really lit. Yeah. Um, Well, I have a show like that for me. It's called Durarara. It really made me want to go to Ikebukuro. I would say that's probably where my like wanting to go to Japan started. Now, if I went to Japan, like it'd have to be like a month-long trip because I want to go to Tokyo, Ikebukuro. I want to go up I want to go to Kyoto, just because Kyoto the mountains are awesome. I'd probably want to go to that village too. I want to see the Gundam statue. I'm a huge gun. I love Gundams, bro. Gundams are my shit. Pretty much any giant robots. Transformers, Voltrons, I guess Power Rangers. Bro, giant robots are just sick. That's like a different tangent. But yes, Japan. There are some places I want to go to Japan. But that's dope. I would kind of be creeped out to go there though, because Japan is also one of those places like a beautiful village is like can be like a facade for like sinister stuff in anime. So wouldn't be enough. Exactly, exactly. No facts. Japan is like for such a small like a smaller country. I don't want to say like such for like just a smaller country and like a denser population. There's still so much like diversity in the places you could go and see, and that's really dope. Germany is similar, as you know. You live there.
Was Anne of Cleves a Minger. Jack Louise David's
Well,
Napoleon
I
crossing
don't
the
know what
Alps
we're talking
painting
about.
was
I'm
allegedly
lost
highly
already. I'm lost
idealized,
again.
with the artist's son posing for the painting and not Napoleon, who actually crossed the Alps.
If you, hey Bombi, if you had a video you wanted to watch, feel free to link it. I'm down for taking suggestions. I just put this on because I was waiting for people to get in the chat also. And you know, give suggestions and tell me what they want to see. Yeah, there it's in. I know it's uh it really sucks. That's really so many things great, but bro, Higurashi on stream right now would kind of be insane, bro. I meant more like a YouTube video, and I'd have to find out where I could watch it because I know they be the certain places can get your stream clip type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. Um, the terrible working conditions. I know. Well, I'm not. I know, but I've read and you know what I'm saying everything I've heard is really that's just like a cultural, just like a cultural difference on like work ethic, and it's negative. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like a negative idea they have that they feel they have to work themselves to the bone, but it's also like we get a lot of great art because of that, and I don't think that's like I'm not saying that as like a way to be like, oh, that's a good trade off because it's not. You know what I'm saying? We'd always rather have better health of authors. I mean that ruins things as well. Like I think of a lot of manga that like gets delayed or the ending. I don't want to say has to be rushed, but like the ending just has to go in a different direction because the author's in bad health or passes or is in surgery. You know, just so many things that could happen. Um, that does affect the art sometimes. Because they're trying to work so hard. And sad. It's sad. Like I wish that culture could change. Um, because we have a lot of creators that you know go too soon, go before their time, or can't even enjoy the accolades because of how hard they're working. We've already been streaming for 30 minutes. We lit. We gonna tap back into to British Jordan. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why Napoleon's on my screen, but something about Napoleon was getting catfished. Good.
on a mule rather than a horse. Portraits of the Habsburg dynasty downplayed their Habsburg's jaw. Charles II of Spain even had his health issues hidden in his paintings. And Elizabeth I issued a face template for artists to follow in order to maintain the illusion of youth. But if we just get back onto.
So they was capping in the paintings, bro. Crazy. So none of the paintings we even know back in the day are even correct. They all look mad different. That's why we need to crack time travel.
Catfish, the TV show, please and thank you. All episodes of Catfish follow a very similar structure, and most of the episodes are bottle episodes, meaning that you don't need to watch any episodes before or after
That's another good thing. You could really jump into Catfish at any time. I jumped in, I think in like season 4 or something like that, and then I backtracked. But I did watch the documentary first. That's how I would recommend everyone to watch Catfish. You watch the documentary first, and then you jump in wherever you want, to be honest. If you want like more modern stuff, do season 8, season 7. But bro, there's something about classic Catfish. You like really realize how different, especially now in a post-lockdown world, bro. You really see how different the world is, like back in the day. In the 2 years that I'll be there, I'll be going to a language school, and at the end of the year, usually going to and which is the highest level. If the working conditions want to be terrible, I would just mention. Facts. Facts. That's crazy. That's Germany's kind of like that too. Again, I don't have to tell you, but just general viewers. I know Germany also has kind of like a higher like has a better education. So like when you learn a different language in Germany, like you're way better, more equipped than America. There's so many people that I know in like America who like learn a language, and we all be like, yeah, we barely know the language for real. Like the bar is just so much lower. Um, and if living in Japan, man, look, if you can mesh with the culture and you really fall in love with it and love being there, I say why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Going on. There are the occasional two-parter episodes. There are occasional previous participants making a comeback, but most viewers can.
Catfish in the beginning used to do this like reunion episode, and they really cut that out really fast. And I don't know if that was like a budgeting issue or getting all the people back issue. Probably a combination of the two. It was really sad because I like those episodes. I like to see who those people were. That's a crazy painting she got in the back, but I fuck with it. I fuck with her whole room aesthetic that she got going on back there. I'm doing crazy pauses on her face. It's a big difference. For example, we have 30 holidays in Germany while they have 10. See, 10 holidays is insane for an entire year, for 52 weeks out the year. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. And they'll look you in the face and be like, "Nah, but that's normal. That's like how everyone should work, and that's crazy." 30, yeah, I don't even know. Well, I don't even know how many holidays Americans have. We probably have the most holidays.
Essentially jump in whenever. Each episode starts with our hosts Neve and Max receiving an email from a hopeful single. I love that they call them a hopeful single. Someone who hopes to meet their online crush or partner. Sometimes the catfish themselves emails to try and come clean, but most of the time it is the quote unquote victim who is asking for Neve and Max's help. They will then fly to the hometown of the participant and essentially start probing and asking questions about their online relationship.
Yeah, they be asking the same questions like 2 or 3 times for first half of the episode, no cap.
I think this really adds to the investigative energy vibes of the show, because we are finding out information at the same time that Neve and Max are.
There's facts. They go out of their way to make sure you are caught up with the information just as much as they are. They don't even use it today because they are scared of leaving their coworkers behind, so they enforce law where you have to use at least 5 See, to even make a law, we have to enforce the use of 5. The thing that I got as I got older is to like you have to use that shit, man. You have to use those company days because you don't get anything for not doing that, and that's what I'm saying. That culture difference, like they see like work as like the most important thing, um, but like that's just not the same way in other places, and and I'm not saying it's crazy because that's just culture. You know what I'm saying? Like culturally, that's what their history kind of melded their work. work ethic into. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of. Did we just get another sub? Hey, Bombi follow, appreciate you. We trying to get to 50 followers and we trying to get to 50 subs. You would not have to get me to use my 5 in a year, bro. That's all I gotta say. Okay, you wouldn't be having to force me, bro. I'd be maxed out at 10 by the halfway through the year. I'm not gonna lie.
So we feel like the investigators. We feel like Neve and Max, and it's usually at
We do. I do be on my. I do put my investigator hat on. I put my Batman cowl on.
this point that we begin finding out some pretty unsavory information about this online relationship. It's usually along the lines of they've never Skyped or FaceTimed because the catfish's camera is broken, and if they have FaceTimed or Skyped, throw back to Skype by them. Shout out to Skype. Skype, wait, why do we have Zoom and not
Skype fumbled so hard, I'm not gonna lie. She probably about to go into it, but Skype fumbled so hard.
Skype anymore? Someone get to the bottom of that, please. If they have FaceTimed or Skyped, it was in a very dark room where they couldn't really make out their face. Sometimes they've never even spoken on the phone.
Those be the craziest ones. They'll be like, I think there's not many, but there's be some ones where it'd be like, yeah, I've only texted them. We never talked on the phone, never FaceTime, only seen these pictures, and I'd be sending them money, and I'd be like, what in God's green earth?
It's only been through messaging. We also find out at this point if the victim has sent any money to the catfish, times that they have attempted to meet up and the meetup has either fallen through or the victim has been stood up, and any dramatic situations.
That'll be the other thing killing me. People be like flying out places and getting stood up. They'll like they took a trip to New York and they got stood up. I'll be like, bro, I'm crashing out. Not gonna lie. I've been stood up in my area where I live right now, and I was like, I ain't crash out, but I was fucking pissed. I drove 20 minutes, and I was like, what the fuck? Shit sucks. If you watch this and you pursue it, bad person. Really suck. It really sucks. Wasting my time for no reason.
That have happened to the catfish or between the victim and the catfish. This usually involves some kind of sickness, family drama, or a car crash. Like a literal car crash, not a metaphorical car crash, an actual car crash. Neve and Max then begin their own investigating to try and get to the bottom of who this catfish really is and whether the participant is actually being catfished or not. Because it is important to note that sometimes people are who they say they are.
I don't know where this episode is. The episode she's showing, I don't know where this episode is.
Not, because it is important to note that sometimes people are who they say they are, but this is very few and far between.
This episode, I don't remember where it is, but when I rewatched it recently, I did not see this episode. Also, let me know if y'all want to see me watch stuff like Catfish. Also, other shows I like, Bar Rescue. I like that, like kind of reality, not really reality. No. I like the reality TV that's actually a little bit more reality and not like a fake storyline, like real people, real lives, like Catfish or Bar Rescue or like a Hell's Kitchen. I like shows like that, where like someone gets helped at the end. I don't really like. That's why I don't really do like the love shows, but I might be willing. Whatever y'all want to see.
And also these episodes obviously are nowhere near as fun. This investigation usually involves reverse image searching phone numbers, reaching out to Facebook friends of the alleged catfish. They inevitably get to the bottom of whether the catfish is who they say they are. Sorry, it's such complicated sentence structure. I'm fighting for my life. And a vast majority of the time, the catfish,
I know that British accent ain't helping.
Fish isn't who they say they are,
and
this is when Neve will give them a ring and say, gotcha. No, he's like, we know that you aren't who you say you are. Let's meet up and talk this out. And usually, like every single time he is met with immediate hostility, the catfish will usually hang up, but inevitably the catfish agrees, and then the meetup is instigated. And this is the moment that the episode has been leading up to. This is the big reveal. Neve will usually meet the catfish before the victim does, and every single time we hear the catfish's voice before we see their face. And this is where the dramatic music really picks up and starts drumming up the tension and the big reveal. And then the reveal. And often the reveal of the catfish is intercut with the fake pictures that they used. And this is where the conflict peaks. Usually the victim gets either very angry or they get really upset and sad. And at this point, Neve, Max, and the victim will begin reprimanding the catfish. Sometimes the catfish is apologetic off the bat, but most of the time they get really defensive and it all just gets a little bit dicey. Inevitably, everyone sort of has to get split apart for the rest of the day. Everyone then regroups later on, and this is where we hear the catfish's side of the story. A vast majority of the time, they are insecure about their physical appearance. They more often than not have been a victim of some kind of bullying, or they usually
a lot of their stories be very similar. And that's not to downplay. That's just how prevalent bullying is, unfortunately, in our modern culture.
Have like fairly unfortunate life circumstances, and usually the victim will forgive the catfish or they will just call it quits, agree to disagree kind of vibe. They'll maybe hug it out and then they will part ways. Around
on the hug it out, bro. Not everybody be getting the hugs.
a month later, Neve and Max will FaceTime both the victim and the catfish to see how they're getting on, but mostly is to check in to make sure the catfish hasn't gone back to their scheming, deceitful ways, which sometimes they do, but most of the time, catfish
most of the time they be knowing they're cooked. They be knowing they're cooked, so they be trying to set their life right.
Does successfully rehabilitate their participants.
Not MTV.
Before we get into all of my critiques and I guess analysis of Catfish, I want to talk about MTV because MTV were pioneers in the music video revolution. MTV music television video. And I find it absolutely fascinating that MTV went from that to a reality TV powerhouse. In fact, MTV aired what is known as one of the first ever reality shows, The Real World, in 1992. And in the mid to late 90s, MTV began reducing the amount of music videos aired and increasing the amount of reality TV. This was due to better ratings for longer form shows rather than music videos, the rise of digital music videos and the internet. Viewers began to watch music videos online rather than on TV, and the music industry was experiencing declining revenue. MTV produced even more hit reality shows like The Osbournes and Newlyweds Nick and Jessica, but something
in my life
that I think MTV had an eerily good knack of is tapping into moral panics via their reality TV shows. Teen Mum played into the teen pregnancy moral panic. Jersey Shore and Geordie Shore played into moral panics around young people drinking, partying, and having sex. And individually, people do argue that Jersey Shore and Geordie Shore reinforced negative stereotypes about Italian Americans and Northerners. And Catfish
definitely did those things. Like, for sure did those things for a fact. Not even speculation. They definitely did that shit for a fact.
The TV show plays into the stranger danger moral panic of the early 2010s. I think it's really important to touch on social attitudes towards the internet and social media when Catfish and Catfish the TV show first aired, which was in the early 2010s. At that point, social media had been around for, I'd say, a decade or so, and something which I think is very important to note, that it was at this time that it became more of the norm for people to have their own devices. Back in the day, back in my day, if you wanted to use the internet, go on social media, go on Club Penguin, go on Stardoll, you would have
was lit, but real niggas knew about Pop Tropica, nigga. Don't know nothing. Don't hear niggas talking about that Pop Tropica.
To use, wait for it, the family computer. And the internet was very much a thing that you used at home. It wasn't something that came around with you like with a phone. But once children and teenagers had their own devices, it became a lot harder for parents to track and monitor what their children were doing on the internet and also who their children were talking to. And at this time, there was a fairly large moral panic about stranger danger, about talking to people on the internet and making friends on the internet. How did you know if the people who you spoke to on the internet were who they said they were? And the status quo at the time was that you should never make friends or meet up with people who you met on the internet. It was
That's real. That's real. I don't know really anyone who listened to that because I had friends online. Everyone I knew, a lot of people I knew had friends online. Like I just don't think anyone ever really listened to that panic. Unfortunately,
a big no-no, which is very funny to me now because a vast majority of my friends and also the people I have gone on dates with I've met on the internet. But if we just get back on track, the
yeah, like we were supposed to avoid stranger danger, and instead we got Tinder, like dead ass.
stranger danger moral panic didn't come completely out of nowhere. It wasn't completely unfounded either, and it is part of the broader moral panic surrounding child safety and predators. Don't get me wrong, increased child safety is a net positive. I think that all
Facts.
children should be taught about internet and social media safety,
Should.
but media sensationalism has led the public not necessarily to overestimate the threat, but rather to have this threat overshadow other threats. A lot of parents were extremely anxious about their child being exploited or something even worse happening via someone that they met on the internet, whilst overlooking the fact that a vast majority of children are exploited and abused by somebody that they already know. And I feel like it's similar
Facts.
to the public perception of human trafficking, that it is so far from what it normally takes form as, that it actually does more damage to victims than help. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that both the Catfish documentary and Catfish the TV show both aired during the peak of the stranger danger moral panic, which, similarly to MTV's other reality shows that played into moral panics, is the reason why it became such a cultural moment and was such a sensation. And an interesting side
You spitting facts here. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even really ever realize that about MTV, but they definitely were doing that shit.
note that researcher Leanne brought my attention to is
No cap, bro. I remember watching this show, and I still would hang out with strangers. That's crazy.
that yes, a lot of these reality shows tapped into moral panics. Jazzy Shore, Geordie Shore, Teen Mum, even Super Sweet 16 to an extent, Catfish the TV show, and all of these are embroiled in at least a little bit of controversy. The most controversial one is probably Teen Mum. I've read so many essays about Teen Mum. I find it absolutely fascinating, but none of these shows caused quite as much controversy as the US adaptation of Skins, which was produced and aired on MTV. And the reason I'm making a note of this
I've never heard of this ever.
is because it's very funny to me that the American adaptation of Skins caused more controversy and more uproar about potentially exploiting children than the shows that were actually exploiting children. And another thing that I want to explore is why so many networks have invested so heavily into reality TV. Obvious reasons for the high ratings, and this is, outside of MTV, this applies to any network that has invested heavily in their reality TV programming. But the reason why so many networks invest so heavily in their reality TV programming is because outside of high ratings, reality TV is one of the cheapest forms of television to make and produce. And it's essentially a wild west because participants are not afforded the same care or protections as a traditional actor. Things have changed in the last few years, don't get me wrong, but reality TV participants are very rarely afforded the same union protections as a traditional actor or actress. They usually don't really know their rights, and there is already a power imbalance between reality TV participants and producers, and this is further exacerbated by class and education differences, which we are going to discuss later in this video. But firstly, let's talk about humilitainment.
Entertainment, they talking about me, bro.
A vast majority of reality TV shows fall under the humiliation entertainment umbrella. Humilitainment has been popular for decades. Think about shows like Jackass or You've Been Framed, but these shows are surface
don't know about the You've Been Framed. I ain't never watched that shit.
Level humilitainment.
Jackass though, shit was kind of funny.
And this involves laughing often at physical injuries. A lot of the time, the people in the videos are in on the joke as well. Sometimes they're even intentionally hurting themselves, all for the sake of a good laugh. But all of these factors means that doesn't quite hit the same, and this is where reality TV comes into play. Whether it's working class participants being chastised in front of a live audience by a middle class Jeremy Kyle, the wives on wife swap struggling to keep up with
The swap was a crazy concept too. I'm not gonna lie.
each other's routines, the clueless women on I Want to Marry Harry thinking they are competing for the chance to date Prince Harry and potentially become royalty, or watching a young woman have her heart
Wait, so they weren't? So see, I don't even understand that show. I'd have to really look at that because I don't know. Some British shit I don't know.
broken as the boy she was coupled up with brings someone back from Casa Amor. Reality TV as we know it cannot function without this humiliation. If humiliation was stripped out of reality TV, nobody would watch it, which makes reality TV trying to go ethical even more murky territory. Why, as human beings, do we enjoy other people's humiliation and misfortune so much? Because humanitainment dates back all the way before television even existed. Think about public executions. Think about putting someone in the stocks and throwing tomatoes at them. Tomato. Many people would argue it's human nature. Psychologists have even differentiated between different types of pleasure that humans derive from other people's misfortune. There's Schadenfreude, which I'm sure you all heard of, which is pleasure from the minor misfortunes of others. There is gloating, pleasure from causing others misfortune, and Genentung, which is pleasure from seeing justice done. And I want everyone to put a pin in that because that will be important later. With humilitainment, there is definitely this aspect of self-importance at play. A lot of the time when people are watching reality TV, they feel like they are looking and punching down. Reality TV contestants are already judged as it is. Oftentimes this is rooted in misogyny and classism. But not only do viewers of reality TV viewing these participants as below them makes them feel more emboldened to pass harsh judgment very publicly, also watching reality TV does make people feel better about themselves, and these viewers tend to feel especially vindicated when the participants' behavior matches up with whatever negative stereotype they have of them in their head. It almost is.
He's not wrong, and like I really agree for the most part, but like I just don't know how we would go about changing that. Like that'd just be like an industry wide change because like you think of all other things like impractical jokers. It's like, oh, there's less harm. Maybe that would just be the solution. Like just like not as much harm, but like people sign up. I don't know. It's hard.
A form of emotional catharsis. Just think of a middle and upper class person laughing at two working class people having it out on an episode of Jeremy Kyle, or a middle-aged man scoffing at a girl crying over a guy she likes on an episode of Love Island. I think Catfish the TV show seems to skirt around being perceived as humilitainment because it's not as outwardly cruel as a typical humilitainment type reality show like Jeremy Kyle. And also because Catfish the TV show does paint itself as self-help. The show isn't overly sinister in comparison to some of the other shows I've spoken about earlier. Like if you actually compare Catfish the TV show to the other shows, it actually seems quite philanthropic. But I still think that this show, they're humiliating their contestants nonetheless. They're humiliating the victim for believing the catfish's lies for so long. They are humiliating the catfish for not being as conventionally attractive as their pictures. We are going to delve more into this later, but something that I feel like it's like, I hate to say the word giving humilitainment, but it's kind of giving humilitainment, is the way the
Use that modern slang. Don't be scared, Jordan. Use that modern slang.
Big reveal is edited. It all builds up to seeing the catfish's real face. We often hear the catfish's voice before we see their face. And when we do finally see their face, they often cut between what the catfish claimed they looked like versus what they actually look like. And the starker the contrast, the more satisfying the reveal. And circling back to what I was discussing earlier, Catfish brings out a little bit of Genentag out of us all. Pleasure from seeing justice done. Catfish the TV show feels like a safe space to watch humiliation because it's almost a form of vigilante justice. And a lot of reality TV does fall under vigilante justice in a way. Middle class people feel zero guilt or shame at laughing at working class people being berated on television because, in their eyes, they have done something to deserve it. They cheated on their partner, they don't know who the father of their child is, they stole something, they're an addict. When the person who is being humiliated is perceived as deserving it, there is absolutely zero need to look inward and question why you're enjoying other people's humiliation so much.
It's a fact. That's definitely a fact, especially when you look at shit like Dr. Phil. It is just that. Like, there's nothing deeper than that. I think that should change. Like I said, that's for me. That's something that's different. Watching Catfish, like I think it's really sad, and I don't think it's vigilante justice. I honestly think sometimes I think like the people there's certain people they deal with who are so like hostile and callous and like want no sympathy, feel no sympathy for what they did. I'd be like, but just leave them. Like, don't even give them like the time. Like, I just like just cut the episode. Give them nothing. Give them like nothing. Give them nothing for being a bad person.
Much.
Like, I feel like they give them too many chances to explain themselves. Like, sometimes people are just like so callous on the first greeting. I'm like, bro, okay, we're done. Like, I would just leave.
I feel like humilitainment and vigilante justice often go hand in hand, especially in the modern day. As I mentioned earlier, reality TV definitely feeds into our desires for vigilantism, a force outside of the law seeking justice for wrongdoings. But something I find
Probably not gonna finish this video because we're wrapping up. We're probably wrapping up the stream soon. Here in a couple minutes. I see we've had one person in the chat for the entire stream who have said nothing, but I appreciate you. Don't know who that is, but you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I appreciate you for staying in the stream the entire time. Shout out Bombi. Bombi was in the chat, keeping it active. I'm gonna cut stream a little early. I wish we got more people in here. I want to do a little fit check on the stream, but we don't have too many people in here. And I do want to finish the other half of this video, the other 20 minutes, on another stream. But I just do not. Yeah, I'm gonna be wrapping up stream soon because I got an event that I'm getting ready to go to. And this video was insightful. I like her little analysis so far. We might watch more of her videos. But we're definitely gonna finish the other half of this video on the next stream. You know, another successful stream, another day, another video half watched. Hopefully I'll be streaming longer. You know, that's another goal of mine. I know I've been kind of just streaming at like the hour, a little under an hour sometimes, like today's might be. But I'm hoping to stream more. You know, it's just an hour at a time. This is kind of like something I do on, you know, on like in my free time. So I sometimes only really have about an hour in me to be streaming. Cause look, it may not look like it, but this streamer takes a lot. You know what I'm saying? Speaking to this microphone, reacting. Bro, every pause that I pause has been so crazy, and it's like not on purpose. Like now I feel like I gotta close. I gotta. It's such a crazy pause, bro. But yeah, man, I just appreciate everybody who comes out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, follow. You know what I'm saying? I will eventually figure out how to put a uh, a sub goal, a follower goal. I don't know how to do that yet. That's something else I got to learn. I'm also learning a lot of this stuff on the go with y'all. Um, but yeah, so I want to get a sub count. My sub goal is 50. You know what I'm saying? Want to get 50 subs. I really want to get this stream thing off the ground. I want to be able to do more content with you guys, like watching shows, watching anime. Even though Bombi wants me to watch like something that like scarred me in my childhood with the ridiculous, crazy stuff that was happening in that show. Um, but yeah, man. Yeah. Once again, thank you for coming to the stream. Appreciate you for tapping in. You know what I'm saying? More streams in the future. We are at 15 followers. You know what I'm saying? We are on our way. Um One viewer in the chat yet again. Don't know who you are. Appreciate you. Sound off one time in the chat if you please. Or if you want to, of course. Um, but yeah, that is gonna be it. I don't know. Y'all gotta tell me what I gotta get. I got like a soundboard or something. Um, Also, I did make a YouTube channel for the VODs. I haven't started uploading them yet because I haven't decided in which way I'm going to split up the content. Whether it's going to just be the whole VOD. I know I watch and do multiple things in stream sometimes, so I think I might. I've been also dabbling with the idea of cutting them up. Um, but they do get views on here in the post stream. So uh, I wanted to have a place where all those VODs can like exist. But yeah, all right, I'm done rambling. Thank you very much. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.